Hey, Taylor Ellwood with Magical Experiments podcast here, and today I thought I would share a secret from my sigil magic practice on how to turbocharge your sigils. Because what I find a lot of times is that when most people are working on sigils and they're thinking about how they're charging it, they're typically not using all of the resources available to them. Now, let me briefly take a moment and clarify what a sigil is, just in case you're watching this and you've never heard of it. Chances are you have, but hey, just in case. A sigil is a symbol sometimes it's a symbol that represents a spirit, but in this case, the way that we're using it, a sigil is a symbol that represents a compressed statement of desire. It's a symbol, basically, that you create and develop. And without getting into all the mechanics of how you do that, what I will share is that one of the processes of sigil magic involves charging the sigil. We talk about charging the sigil. What we're really talking about is we're talking about investing in that sigil, the intention, the desire, and essentially fueling the sigil. Now, what I've noticed that a lot of people do when they fuel or charge their sigils is they will use their own energy for it, their own life energy, their own effort, and everything else. And I get it. I mean, that's kind of the way that sometimes I see how people approach magic in general, especially when they're starting out. But what I'm going to share today is a practice from my course, Ultimate Sigil Magic, which is going to teach you, a sigil secret. Now, if you're interested in learning all of my sigil secrets, I recommend clicking on the link below for Ultimate Sigil Magic, because that's where I'm going to be sharing all my advanced sigil magic techniques, all the secrets that I haven't shared over the years. I've written about a couple of these techniques, but most of them I haven't shared anywhere else other than in that class. And so that's going to be, so that's kind of what I want to, that's my plug. So now let's get into the actual turbocharging your sigil. So how might you turbocharge a sigil or a symbol? Well, the key thing that I'm going to suggest to you is that instead of just using the act of creating the sigil as the moment that you turbocharge the sigil, one of the techniques I'm going to recommend, and there are several different techniques that I would recommend for turbocharging your sigil, but this is just one of them, is that you actually take everyday actions that you are using as a way to fuel your sigil. So what do I mean by that? Well, an everyday action, for example, would be brushing your teeth. When you're brushing your teeth, you're normally not thinking about anything at the time. Or maybe you're thinking about some stuff, but what you're not thinking about is the energy and the investment of that energy that you're putting into brushing your teeth. What you're also not doing is tapping in to all the different times that you've brushed your teeth. If you think about it, there's a cumulative effect there where you've brushed your teeth, hopefully multiple times a day. And you've done this multiple times a day for, I'm presuming most of your life. Think about the amount of energy that has been effort that has been invested in brushing your teeth. And this is just one example of an everyday action. And you're not using it. You're not using it for magic. But what if you could? You might say, well, that doesn't seem very magical. I mean, shouldn't I have a wand? Shouldn't I have a wand and be using the wand? Or a pentacle or something else along those lines? Well, you can use a wand or a pentacle if you want to. You can do a full-blown magical ritual. Raise all that energy up, put it out there. Or you could take a different approach. You can take an approach where you create the sigil and you link it to an everyday action or multiple everyday actions to turbocharge that sigil. And by linking it, what you're essentially doing is you are creating a special charge with that sigil to fuel the sigil. And the beauty is that you can use an everyday action like brushing your teeth for multiple sigils or multiple magical workings. Really, in general, it's just an everyday action that you can use if you want to. It doesn't have to be that complicated. What I see a lot of times is that people will make magic more complicated than it has to be because they think, well, I've got to have the right tools, I've got to have the right words, I've got to have the right oils and incenses and all the other things. And let me be clear, that can be fun and it can be useful. It can be great for creating a type of aesthetic that supercharges the experience for you. I'm not saying that you can't use it. But if you want to level up your magic, another approach that you can take involves just a very simple action of taking an activity like brushing your teeth and turning it into a ritualized activity that charges up your magical workings. It can be really powerful. So if you want to learn more about that and learn more about my approach to sigil magic, check out Ultimate Sigil Magic. I am sharing techniques and secrets that I have never revealed to anyone. I've written about a couple techniques, but there's a lot more that I haven't shared over the years. Other than like I taught like a class a few years ago, so you'll see some stuff there. But like it's a unique approach, and Sheen and I are gonna be sharing some more stuff around sigil magic as well. But this will kind of give you an idea as to what this gives you an idea as to like something that you can do with sigils, whether you take my class or not. That can be really powerful and helpful. All right, thanks for watching, and look forward to connecting with you more.